Welcome back. I'm MTG Joe, and today we're going to be continuing our budget deck lists on MTG Arena. So we're putting together a couple deck lists. We're trying to keep them all either uncommons or commons, with the exception of lands. Um, with a lot of these lists, you want to ensure that you have proper mana base to be able to cast your spells when you need to cast them. And that's probably the most important lesson that people taught me early on is you can have all the best cards, but if you don't have the mana to cast them, you're not going to get that far. Right now we're playing a budget black-white, kind of a life gain, but more life as a resource deck. So this seems to be a popular one on the subreddit for MTG Arena. People are looking to tweak the existing starter deck. So the deck itself is looking to use small creatures that kind of grow. So you have your Leonin Vanguard that gains you some life each turn and gets a little larger. You have Ajani's Welcome, which gains you life whenever creatures come into play. We're playing 4 Adanto Vanguards, so this gives us something to do with the extra life we're gaining. It's a 3/1 attacker that becomes indestructible if we pay 4 life. So this can allow us to trade through creatures profitably, survive after a board wipe. So these are important things to have, as opposed to just dumping your whole hand and getting caught in a sweeper. So we have 4 Johnny's Pridemate, so this gets bigger every time you gain life. So this can get quite large in these types of decks. We're playing 4 Kitesail Freebooters, so this is basically almost like a duress, but on a creature. You can remove a non-creature spell from their hand, removal, wrath, whatever it may be. We added some reach with Sovereign's Bite, so it's almost like a burn spell in black and gains us some more life back. We're playing 4 Militia Bugler, so this is almost like card draw in these colors. It lets us find pretty much any creature in the deck. Every creature is 2 power or less, so it can help us to keep drawing more creatures. And it being a 2/3 body with Vigilance is quite relevant in most games, especially against like mono red or small creature decks. Playing 4 of Mortify, one of the best removal spells in the format. And then 2 Ravenous Chupacabras, which additionally can be found off Militia Bugler as more removal. 3 Conclave Tribunals, so this can be cast for even free in a sense if you have enough creatures out by tapping them, and it can exile any troublesome permanents. And then 4 Call of the Feast, so this creates 3/1/1 lifelink tokens, which can then even give us more life with Ajani's Welcome. Mana base is pretty straightforward. 4 shock lands and Godless Shrine, 4 check lands and Isolated Chapel, and then some plains and some swamps. So we'll take it for a spin. If you haven't checked it out already, we already did a Merfolk budget deck that'll be up, and then semi-budget mono black deck. It's got about 8 rares and 3 mythics, I believe. Otherwise, the rest is pretty cheap, and this one was actually quite competitive when we were playing. So if you haven't done so already and you're enjoying the content, make sure you subscribe. The little button just in the bottom right-hand corner. Costs you absolutely nothing, and it's a great way to show your support and to help me continue to build out the channel. So for those of you who are watching, if there's any other budget archetypes, colors, anything of that nature you'd like me to cover, make sure to drop a comment below. It'll give me some direction. There's quite a lot of variations you can take with something like this, so want to kind of check off the ones that you're looking for first. Alright, a little bit slower to get started, but we're good for another one. So we'll keep here. So being on the play, we'll see what they're playing. So Stomping Ground generally suggests probably a more aggressive deck. So we'll lead on the Welcome. Now if it is something like a Teamer Reclamation deck or some sort of control deck, we can Kitesail Freebooter to see what's happening. But basically we do that line where if they showed something like a Hallowed Fountain, okay, Omen Speaker, a little weird. Let's see what our opponent's playing. So this might be a Prime Speaker Vanamar deck. Usually you play Riverwise Augur to shuffle the top of your deck. So I was hoping for a land there. Exclusion Mage really isn't anything worthwhile for them. We might need to go up one land in this deck. I think 20 is a little too small a number. So Omen Speaker is likely in here just to help him dig to Prime Speaker. No blocks, we'll gain enough life. So just poke him for one. Need to be aware of the Dream Eater. So they shuffle away the Dream Eater. Not a land, but gives us a buffer. They are digging. So here, just get down the Pridemate, double trigger. Ravager Worm's a big boy. So this is definitely pod. Da, 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 da. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. We're dead if we don't. Need to get rid of the worm. Opponent probably should have given it haste last turn. So this will gain us some more life. Grab us a Pridemate. Then we'll gain a life off Leonin Vanguard. No attacks. Dream Eater. Yep, they got us. They get the worm back. And then they attack us in. I'm going to make one revision and add in another land. We will cut one Fall the Feast, lower our curve. Alright, let's get back up there. And this is why I like you play test. I'm usually greedy with my mana base. I usually want to try to keep as low, like in mono red, I'm trying to jam 18 lands at all times just to get the most action, but there we saw a good number of cards and we're still only on 3 lands. Alright, so we have play. Alright. Could be a couple things, we'll see what they come up with. Okay, so it's just Merfolk. playing out the more aggressive creature, you want to try to race these decks usually. It's actually an interesting card for our budget Merfolk list. So we'll need to kill that with the Curious Obsession next turn. Another land there is pretty good. We can double spell next turn. We're killing this now. There's a good chance they also have dive down in this deck, so it lets us do that. So they adapt here, they'll get to draw and discard. So this tells me they don't necessarily have a dive down. So here we'll lead on the Freebooter, see what's in their hand. So they opt to not play Blink of an Eye, so we'll take that. And we'll just gain some life back with Sovereign's Bite. No attacks here. They can in response there, so it's good that we did see it before that they had the Merfolk Trickster. Interesting that they opted to not flash it in. No blocks. They have the Trickster to play around it. So here we'll Pridemate, play Militia Bugler. Not the best, but at least it clears off a lot of the stuff from the top of our deck. So here I will attack. So it loses the plus ability, but it's fine. We want to get it out of the hand, so next turn we can Sovereign's Bite and they can't respond to the Ajani's Pridemate trigger. So let's see what we get off Bugler. Got Ravenous Chupacabra for next turn. Play out a Sovereign's Bite. No attacks. We can kill one of their flyers next turn. We'll trade here now. Most of our creatures have entered the battlefield effects. We're gonna get rid of the Mistcloak Herald here. And here... it's a free attack. If they want to trade, they can. So they can blink an eye the Ajani's Pridemate. It's pretty solid for them. Makes blocks a little awkward. So this forces them to either burn it we'll attack for 5. So we're going to kill the Bethnic Biomancer because it does potentially allow him to draw cards. River Sneak's pretty good for them. No blocks here. No attacks. I think we're dead on this one. Really just trying to draw into Mortify. No blocks. Don't think Pridemate does it. Nope. They attack for 3 anyways. It's unblockable. So one was a little bit better. We got to play out our spells, but the Flyers got us that game. We'll give it one more shot, see how the deck plays out. Missing black, but when you could Johnny's welcome into Pridemate, you keep those hands, I feel. It's basically what we're looking to get done. Black source here is good. So we can go crazy next turn. We're really just trying to avoid like a rabbit bite or one of their fight effects. So this makes the most creatures and we'll gain the most life. We can... I think we hold back one turn. So Galt is pretty scary. Good thing we drew the Mortify. So no attacks here. We're missing a second black for the Ravenous Chupacabras. Jade Light Rangers, pretty nice. So this will at least gain us a bit of life. It's not impossible for us to get this bigger than a Galta. So they could pump this to 6/6. Another plane's not what we wanted. Fine Mare. I got a lot of power. Certainly the case. Opponent should probably be attacking in. Seems wrong for them not to. Like they'll lose one big creature each turn. So here comes 6 power. Just block like this. Gain back that life. Pretty far behind. We need some more. It's either a black source or another feast. Call to feast. So the reason we blocked the Pelt Collector than some of the bigger ones is if they die, then the Pelt Collector gets larger. Thank you. So we're gonna pay here. And kill the Nullhide. Just gonna attack in with 1 here. I just want to get some chip damage in. Do we want to take the damage? Why not? So we'll block here and here. Oh, they opt not to there. So they'll get the token. 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, so they don't have enough to block the Pridemate. We can attack in with it, they'll block. Then opponent concedes. They're probably too lax early on not attacking. They could have just like forced in, but they were overvaluing their creatures. But this gives you an idea of the deck itself. You're basically using life as a resource, pumping up with Pridemates, and just kind of battling through that. So let me know what you think in the comments below. If there are some other budget decks that you're looking for, then drop it in the comments, and I'll look to get some videos up on that. Thanks for watching, make sure to subscribe, and have a great one.